financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is how bankruptcy or debt elimination builds a better future. Brian Small, this is a topic for you.
I was going to say it's all about how we can help everybody.
And Pat, this
and
is
it's
also
a pleasure speaking
because Pat's good at building better futures.
Yes. Get rid of the debt so I can help on the financial side.
There you go.
Okay. All right, let me put things in perspective. I want to start off by throwing out a few fallacies that you hear out there all the time. Bankruptcy is a badge of dishonor that will haunt you endlessly throughout your life.
That's a good one. Can I get that put on a T-shirt?
We could. Okay, I'm not a big T-shirt guy when it comes to, well, I actually am a big T-shirt. With COVID, that's your normal work outfit is a T-shirt, T-shirt and jeans. How many times have you heard on the radio or TV, you don't have to file bankruptcy, and they're pitching something else? Or if you file bankruptcy, you'll never get credit again, and you could never buy a home.
Lies, all lies.
All right, let's talk about truth for a second. Truth. The most important step that you can make is to eliminate your debt and therefore live your life virtually debt-free. Mortgages are okay. Eliminating your debt the fastest way at the least possible cost accomplishes this goal. That's what we always say. That is the truth. That's what you want to hold on to. Another one. While you may be able to settle your debt via debt resolution, which is something we do, if you're eligible to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, that's usually the smartest move. Why do we say that, Brian?
Well, all right. So let's throw one more in there, which is credit scores heal. So don't be afraid to take a dramatic action to get yourself out of debt. Period. Now, why do we say all this? Because debt is financial cancer. Period. Your future depends on your ability to put money in the bank and protect your family. And quite honestly, if you're in debt up to your eyeballs, all you're doing is paying interest over interest over interest, and you're never reaching the point where you are financially independent. You are dependent upon having to go to work, having to rely on family members, having to do things to put food on the table because you have no money in the bank, because you are enslaved to the credit card industry.
See, and if you do get financial independence where you don't have to go to work, you can just get up, walk out of work anytime you want, say goodbye, and call it a day. Let's go boldly.
That was a dramatic moment in the TV show, Ken.
I couldn't. Are the bowling alleys even open yet? All right. So
Hey, he did that though to show that he's wearing pants because he hasn't worn pants for about almost a year now.
No,
that's far too much information.
Big trouble for that. Okay. So here, let me give you an example. Okay. Why bankruptcy versus debt settlement or debt resolution makes sense. This is a true story. Brian and I went through it. Name changed. Dear old Betty is the client. She was 75 years old, retired and widowed.
Wait, stop. Remove the word old because you're not that far away from Betty's age at the moment. I would just like to point that out. Maybe if Betty was 85 years old, we could use the word old.
Dear young Betty, age 75, retired and widowed, rents an apartment, gets $2,300 a month in Social Security, has $5,000 in the bank. She's got credit card debt of $40,000, which she's required to pay $1,000 a month minimal on. Her budget, I'm putting it up on the screen, is such that if she pays her rent, credit cards, utility, gas, auto, and food, she's negative $875 a month.
Stop.
Putting down that $5,000.
Stop. People are sitting there going, how is that possible? She's got $2,300 coming in and she's got $3,175 going out. I'll tell you how it's possible, just so everybody understands. Betty keeps using those credit cards to pay the credit cards. She's borrowing from one to pay another and borrowing from that one to pay another one. And she's just shifting it around. But the reality is that Betty couldn't afford these credit cards a long time ago.
And even if she's doing that, once she's tapped out the credit cards, then that $5,000 in savings goes down rapidly at $875 a month, and then she's got zero. So here's what happened. Betty saw our seminars, our TV show, and everything else. She came in, this is years ago, and she meets with me, and she says, I want to do debt resolution. I don't feel good about bankruptcy. I don't want to file bankruptcy. I say to Betty, debt resolution on $40,000 worth of debt. If we settle the debt and resolve it at 40%, that's $16,000. You only have $5,000 now. It takes 18 to 24 months to do that. I said, if I put you into a bankruptcy, you keep your $5,000. It's done in 4 months, and it costs roughly $1,500. I said, would you rather spend $1,500, be debt-free in 4 months, or spend $16,000 that you don't have over 24 months to be debt-free? She said to me, I guess I want to file the bankruptcy. I said, absolutely. I walked Betty over to your office, Brian. You filed the bankruptcy the next week, and she was done.
Yeah.
It makes no sense in Betty's situation to do debt resolution if she could do bankruptcy, but she was preliminarily brainwashed by all of the media and the commercials and everything else, thinking that bankruptcy was some kind of bad thing. But it's not. It's the smart thing.
Before we hit that break, I just want to point something out. We did the complete analysis for Betty, whether or not bankruptcy or debt resolution or budget management, whether those tools, which of the tools were available and which one was the best. And when we did that, bankruptcy was the right choice for her. We're going to find the right choice for you when you come in and sit down with us.
Let's take a break and we'll come back.
COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We were here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We'll create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
You're all set to retire. You have your home paid off, money in the bank, and sound investments. But if you're not careful, all the things that you work so hard for can disappear. At Samasco Financial, we'll help you prevent that. We go beyond ordinary asset management. We'll safeguard everything that you have by creating a plan made specifically for you. How much can you afford to lose? Nothing. Protect the people that you love and the things that you have. Call Samasco Financial today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so we're back. Pat, at the break, you mentioned you had a
Yeah, we had the exact same situation. It was just a little slightly different. Mom, she had a $40,000 mortgage on her house paying 5%, and she had about $700,000 in her bank account earning 0. And I said, go pay off your mortgage. It's like you're earning 5%. But they're so brainwashed to keep money in the mortgage because you get deductions, which you don't on taxes. It's like earning interest on a guaranteed basis. So it's so important to get rid of that debt. And she was behind. Her Social Security was short on her monthly expenses by the amount of the mortgage payment. So get rid of that debt.
Yeah, in that case, just pay it off and be done with it.
Yeah, pay it off. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so back to the benefits of the process. Let's talk about the credit score, because you prompted us on that before, Brian.
It was a teaser, Ken.
Debt elimination actually helps your credit score. Let me explain why. If you've already missed payments on your debts because you're behind, your credit score is already low. If you've maxed out your cards and you've still been able to make the payments, your credit score is suffering. It's probably in the 670 range, trending down because you've tapped out available credit. These are the factors you need to look at. When you picture this chart, you've got total debt, if it's too high, right after versus 1 to 10 years. What you look at from the standpoint of your credit score is your total debt, your pay history, and your utilization. And that generates the result as to what impacts on your credit score. If your pay history is good, but your debt's too high and your utilization's too high, your credit score is tanking. If your total debt's 0, your pay history is bad, and you have no credit at all, your credit score is still going to be low. But if your debt is 0, your pay history is improved, and your utilization is low, which means you have available credit and you're not using it, there your credit score leaps into the 700s. The thing to realize, like what Brian said, is credit scores recover. After you get rid of the debt, you then manage your credit the right way. You take available credit, but you pay it off immediately at the end of the month, so you're not paying any interest. Your credit score will be high. Brian, when can you buy a home if you file a bankruptcy?
So, all right, the answer is immediately if you had the cash. But of course, people want to know, when can I get a mortgage? And so the answer is, it depends. So there are some programs out there through FHA and VA that you are eligible as early as 2 years after your discharge from your bankruptcy to get a mortgage. Now, your credit score still has to come back, which means you have to have done all the right things to make sure that you don't get yourself in trouble again. But if you're looking for a standard HUD, FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac mortgage situation, is generally 4 years. So the answer is 2 to 4 years after a bankruptcy.
Let me interject on that, because it's something people need to think about and realize is we're a short-term society. And the younger you are, the more short-term your perspective is. Trust me, because I was younger at one point, and I remember what my perspective was.
And now you're old.
Now I'm older. Right? The point is this.
Sorry, forgot that
2 years goes like that. 4 years goes like that. We've been in a pandemic for 1 year, and basically it's gone like that. It hasn't been fun, but it's already been a year.
Oh no, March and April of last year lasted a whole year all by themselves. It did not go by quickly.
Right, but time moves. And when you think about credit score improving, buying a house versus eliminating debt, the key is that eliminating the debt becomes the foundation from which your financial future arises. When you've gotten rid of the debt, you've created the opportunity. If you bring in more income than your expense, you're saving the money versus taking that, what would be savings, and giving it away by paying interest to the banks. And you have to think long term. You can't think, I want everything my way in 2 months. That will never work when it comes to your financial future. You have to take a longer term perspective. And if you do, it will lead you to a path of success.
You know, Ken, one of the things that people also need to realize is that your credit score will improve dramatically, relatively quickly. But if you take no action and you're in debt and you're maxed out on your cards, your score will remain low forever. So it's taking a dramatic action to do something that you're not used to doing to eliminate the debt. On the other side of that debt elimination is nothing but a positive opportunity to put yourself in great shape.
Let's do a case study for the rest of this segment and on to the next. Jeff and Marcy, mid-50s, combined income $125,000. They've got $90,000 of credit card debt. Their budget, paying the credit cards, which are costing them $2,250 per month. Their budget leaves them net income of $383 a month after they make that $2,250 in credit card payments. If they were able to get rid of the $2,250 in credit card payments, their budget would be $2,600 a month positive. Now, this is a normal couple. You can look on the map. They're paying $1,750 for their mortgage. They got 2 car payments, $400 each. They've got utilities, food of $1,000, clothing $600, entertainment $1,000. They have a normal budget. The difference is the credit cards are leaving them so that they're just breaking even. Whereas if they get rid of the credit cards, they will be $2,600 positive. They're in our office. They're meeting with Brian and I, and they want to know what they should do. And Jeff says to me, I'm able to make the payments. Why should I file bankruptcy? Marcy says, I'm so angry. We'll take a break and we'll figure out what Jeff and Marcy should do.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That was Jerry. Emma just said her first word.
Oh.
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
Who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
Time for announcements. I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays, 10 o'clock a.m. and Saturdays, 7 o'clock a.m. And then on KISS 105.9, Sundays, 7:30 a.m. every week. Law and Reality is happy to announce a free webinar. Stay in your home, attend our webinar via the internet. You can watch it at the time of your choice and at your convenience. Just go to thavgross.com or lawandreality.com on the homepage. Click webinar and you'll be taken right to the webinar, and you'll have Brian, myself, and Jeff Linden presenting to you. We're going to talk about how to eliminate your debt and get a fresh start and live debt-free for 2021. Remember, to be free, you must be debt-free. We'll address all the methods that we use to preserve future income, get rid of the debt so that you can start saving money in the bank rather than giving your money to the bank. There'll be a special segment on small businesses facing debt and closure issues, learning your best options of when to use bankruptcy and when not to file bankruptcy. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. You can always come in to THAV GROSS for a free consult. We're doing teleconferences, phone conferences, as well as proper social distancing for in-office meetings. Whichever you prefer, we can accommodate. You want to call 888-235-HELP or go online to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business issues, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeffrey Kirshner, criminal law issues with Scott Weinberg. Just reach out to us. We're happy to help you. When you come in and you get a free consult, it's not a meet and greet. It's an analysis of your problem with a specific developed plan as to the best and optimal solution to that problem, so you know what your options are and you know how to implement a plan to resolve the problem. Also, take a look at the free reports that are online. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solution by myself and Jeff Linden, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan, and also the Retiree's Guide from Social Security from Pat Simasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simasco Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We are here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We will create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem.
All right, so we're back. All right, so Jeff and Marcy, I want to know that this is real life. Every time Brian and I have a meeting like this with the clients, they're both frustrated. One of them is confused and quiet, and one of them is angry. It doesn't necessarily have to be wife is angry. Somebody's always angry. Husband may be angry because wife's spending too much on the credit cards, or vice versa, or the wife's saying, you never told me about this problem. But the real
that's usually what happens. You never told me. Complete lack of communication in the household.
It's common. It's commonplace. But the real key is, what's their solution? Brian, what's their solution on these facts?
Okay, so the first thing I have to tell Jeff and Marcy is that they don't qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. They have too much income left over. Now, you point out they only have $383 a month left over. I point out that they're paying $2,250 a month on credit card debt, which means that they have over $2,600 a month, $2,633 to be exact, that they have left over that they could fund a Chapter 13 bankruptcy.
Great. I'm Jeff. Great, Mr. Small. I'm glad to hear that. See, Marcy, I told you we don't need a bankruptcy. We can get out of here. We can leave something. Right now. We don't need you. We don't need it. We're fine. Are we fine?
They're not fine because they don't have the ability to protect their future, which is what this is all about. Jeff and Marcy don't.
So you're saying to Jeff, sit down?
I have said that, yes.
Sit down. Okay, go ahead.
Jeff and Marcy don't qualify for the Chapter 7. They do qualify for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which is not the best solution here, but would allow them to repay the entire amount of credit card debt that they have, which is quite large, over 60 months at no interest.
What's the best solution?
The best solution? Debt resolution in this case. Settling their debts for pennies on the dollar, negotiating a settlement which gets them out of debt in 12 to 24 months, with their future being bright, with the ability to save.
All right, here's the point. Back to Jeff when he's saying, "See, I don't need a bankruptcy." And then the point is, you don't need a bankruptcy, Jeff, but you need to eliminate the debt because you're destroying your life. Do you remember the song, the Bud Sutton song, "And when I die and when I'm gone, there'll be one child born"? Well, in his case, when he's dead and gone, there's going to be absolutely no money because he died broke.
I'm just thankful at the moment that you didn't sing that, okay? I just want everybody to know.
You got it covered. But here's the point. If he eliminates the debt through debt resolution, which will take 18 to 24 months, and we use the $2,200 a month that they were paying to get rid of all the debt, and then they're debt free.
Wait, remind people, that's the power of the minimum monthly payment. If we stop paying the credit card debt and save the minimum monthly payment, that is enough money to negotiate settlements over the 18 to 24 months that you might be in debt resolution.
So let me give you the numbers. If he keeps the credit cards and he saves the $383 a month for 20 years at 5% interest, he'd have $155,000. But if he gets rid of the credit cards and he saves half of the payments that he was paying, the $2,600, if he just saves $1,300, the other $1,300 he can spend. In 20 years at 5% interest, he's got $533,000. He gets to retire with zero debt, $500,000 in the bank, and for 20 years he had the ability and the right to spend an extra $1,300 a month on stuff that he wanted to spend it on that he didn't have to spend it on before. It is the difference between life and death, good and bad, enjoyment and misery. It is
wow,
so obvious.
Holy mackerel, that's quite a speech, Ken.
People don't realize they're throwing away their financial future because they're making the minimum monthly payment on the credit card. And Jeff's sitting there saying, but I don't need bankruptcy because I'm able to make the payments.
Hey, Ken, why don't people realize this?
Because of the billions of dollars that the financial industry spends making you worry about your credit score and making it seem like having credit cards is a good thing.
Yeah.
All the actors, the cool actors, they all are sponsors because it's easy to do, but it's wrong. And that's our message to you for this week. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality. Thanks for tuning in.